Greetings, YouTube. Everybody knows that there are things in life we can't change. And I'm not talking about the weather, but I'm talking about even human institutions. You as an individual, me as an individual, cannot change certain things. We can try to push politicians and social agendas and public opinion in the direction of changing those things, if you're progressive, for the better. But as individuals, we're probably not going to be able to do much about those things. And then there's the other category of stuff, which is stuff that we can have effect on as an individual. So why am I telling you this? You know this. You've been alive for more than about 2 days. You're aware of this. Well, I watch a guy named Gopher on YouTube. He does the most wonderfully immersive Let's Plays of video games I have ever seen. He is an artist. His work is genius. He has done Let's Plays that have been running for years on Fallout and Skyrim. Just amazing stuff. He really is very, very good at what he does. And I'm not into all his stuff. He's done horror games that I got no interest in. And recently he started playing the Hogwarts Legacy, which I believe is the name of the new Harry Potter video game, which apparently isn't getting great reviews. That's not what I'm here for, though. And I'm not going to watch his series he's doing on this because I think that it's wrong to support any property that's going to benefit Rowling, period. So I left a simple comment on his channel, on this video, and I was never going to return to any of these Let's Plays of this series ever again. And I said, buying this game supports a turf. It's a statement of reality. It is not a political opinion. That is what happens. You buy this game, you give money to a turf. That's something we shouldn't be doing. Well, I attracted a troll, and the troll did just what I said earlier in this film. He pointed out that there are things in life that we can't change, and the example he used in that particular instance was to say that the slave labor that goes into these, he pointed to an iPhone, which apparently may even have worse slave labor relations than it does for these Samsungs. But the slave labor that's involved in making iPhones, and he said, and basically because that slave labor exists, because that huge institution that we as individuals cannot change, it's okay if you play this wizard game that benefits Rowling. And that's comparing chalk to cheese. Because cell phones, not necessarily iPhones, obviously, but cell phones have become ubiquitous to our society. It's hard to get by without them. This can stand in for so much computer power. This can stand in for anything that a person needs a computer for if they have the right kind of setup, and it may be the only thing they have to gain access to the internet at large. This is incredibly important to people's lives. All right? A game, however, isn't. It's just a game. There are lots of other games out there that are fun to play. I've been watching John from Many a True Nerds recently play Oblivion, and I've been actually stunned how much fun that game is when you look it through the eyes of someone that's really pushing the system to make it do what he wants it to do. John doesn't play immersive characters. He plays the game, and he plays it very well, as opposed to like the spiffing Brit who just breaks games for fun. And there are aspects of that Oblivion. I'm like, wow, you can customize your own spells? That is awesome. That is just so damn cool. I wish it was in Skyrim. That's just really cool. I think that was a bad decision not to include it. But you could go play Oblivion instead of playing Hogwarts Legacy. And you're going to have a lot more options for spells, I hear, than you will in Hogwarts. But you can't compare those two things. You cannot compare the slave labor that we can't control to a game that we can. And then I had someone come along after I had ignored the troll, because I said, if you don't support trans rights, then we have nothing to discuss. And which is when they declared victory, because I would not then defend the argument they were making, not the one I was making. Um, and I tried to tell them, stay on target. We're talking about, trans rights here. Um, they declared victory. Then along came a trans person to defend the troll. Now, I put quotes around that because whenever somebody comes out of the gate in a controversial topic, declaring themselves to be a member of some minority group, I am very suspicious. If somebody says, I'm a black man, unless I see a video of you talking at the camera, I don't necessarily believe that you are, in fact, African. Because too many white guys will play that game because they enjoy it or just because they're white supremacists. And I have no idea who this person was or wasn't. I decided that it wasn't worth my time, so I just deleted my comment. Everything went away, and I didn't have to deal with it anymore. I wasn't that invested in that conversation, and I didn't want to be fighting trolls forever. And I definitely didn't want that troll to think they won, because they didn't, because they were comparing chalk to cheese, and I know the difference between the things that we can't change and the things that we can. Don't give money to Rowling. She's a horrible human being. She uses her wealth and her social position to harm people. Her words will cause people to die. There will be people who push policies that will cost trans lives, and they're pushing those policies because people like Rowling give them support. She is an ethically and morally bankrupt human being. And I wish that more people would just disengage themselves from her entire body of work. If you want to read the books, go buy them used. Make sure she doesn't get a penny out of it. All right? There's lots of, I see them at thrift shops every single time I walk into them. So it's not going to be hard to find them. But yeah, don't support bigots. And don't think that because we can't change some things about the world, the slave labor that exists in the world, it doesn't mean that we can't change the things like which games we play. Support the people that you want to support, and make sure you make it very clear to the others that you're not supporting them because you think they're horrible. And don't think that because those two things are bad, they're equal, because they aren't.